All right, what is going on, guys? Sorry for the late post. I've been having a pretty busy week, and I just been focusing on getting stuff done, school, and then I had some personal trades going on. Basically, it went good and bad. I think it started the week good, ended the week bad, but let's get into the forefront. So I had some questions asking like why the market was tanking on Monday because a lot of the stuff that's been posted from the media is just it's not simplified. It's just saying tariffs. That's not enough an explanation. What is a tariff? It's a tax on import and exports. But there's more to it. Why would they be scared of that? Well, I'm gonna. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, I had. So I always watch CNBC, but the Treasury Secretary had a live appearance on CNBC. It's like Money Talks, and he explained it best. He said that we're basically transferring from public to private spending. So during the Biden administration, the top percent was it the top? It was like 10% or 11% of Americans made up 40 to 50% of consumption. Now that is unstable. The bottom 40% have gotten destroyed. The working class have been depleted. So their goal is to bring inflation and rates down so that way they could be at a equilibrium. And there's some conspiracies as to what if Trump has a part to play in getting the Fed to cut rates, like meaning he's intentionally taking the market. There could be some truth to that, but I don't know. And basically the economy and the markets have been addicted to government funding. That's what kept the markets afloat the past. If you look at the past 2 years, the market kept putting in new highs. It has to do with government pumping it up and inflation. That's why it's been pumping because the economy hasn't gone better. It has stagnated. So what happens when we have a staggering economy and the Fed is overspending and rates are still high to scale away the high spending? This will lead you to stagflation, worse, to depression. So if we follow this playbook, we're doomed. Essentially, our children won't have the monetary freedoms that we have today if we follow this path for the next, if we had this going on at least for the next 4 years. Hyperinflation will ultimately destroy this nation. It will destroy the nation, then the banking system, and then the rest of the world because we're the top currency and everything else follows under the US dollar. Everything else is backed or collateral borrows against the US dollar. So there are many banking institutions that are getting out, which is what we're seeing over the months. Monday was a big one because, again, we're in a little tariff war. When you have countries, basically, it's not all countries, but certain countries are barking retaliatory, and Trump says crazy things, yes. So it's a back and forth. So this creates some fear in the markets. Um, let's see. Look at some other details. Um, the reason why I don't see this as a concern because the reality is that these countries that are barking back, they can't afford counter tariffs. These countries would fall straight into stagflation or a recession for a couple of them because they're not economically stable enough to place these demands against the U.S. The tariffs are essentially after listening to Trump on a couple of interviews he has with not networks but like independent like podcasts and whatnot that support him. He'll state out his goals. He'll say it all. But he plans to use the tariffs as a negotiation tactic. And then there's members of his administration who back this up. And then just recently too, they have clarified on this. Um, I don't expect them to keep these tariffs essentially. So it's basically going to be March, April until a compromise is made. And then this will be priced in probably for April. So the way I see it, March, I have believed that it would suck because we were going at the point that when I mentioned this is like a week before this week or a week or two, we were already on the way going down. Now it's shifted because the end of this week, great bounce. I like what I'm seeing. So this is telling me we are near or at a bottom. So March and April will probably be sideways until macroeconomic does improve, and it's not so much the data is coming in good. It needs to be exceptionally good, and because we're seeing the market data that's coming in is actually pretty good. So I think this will all be priced in late April, and then we can go back on target for May, June, July, August. Those are going to be the good times. The good times are rolling back in this market. So for us invested, how does this benefit us? Well, in the immediate term, I would say yields are dropping, and then all the jobs data, the consumer indexes for just businesses, commercial, for inflation have have been coming in good. I mentioned that, but I think what's important that the reason why also that the market had so much fear with the recent job data is because seasonality wise, January, February, and March are some of the worst data you're going to get on jobs data because the holiday seasons you're going to get because of seasonality. You get more unemployment, you get higher inflation, you get less output essentially. But it's been coming in good. In fact, true inflation came in at 1.5%, and the Fed wants 2% before they consider rate cutting. So, also recently, Jerome Powell spoke up on the economy, and when asked if he would cut, he said, "The economy is good. There's no reason to cut at the moment." Now, at the moment, so March, I don't expect a rate cut, but for May, I think we will get a rate cut. The way inflation is coming down, I do think it would be a good play. It would make sense, essentially. That's the best way to put it. Again, remember Jerome Powell's job is to keep the markets afloat and the dollar on a good standing. So there is some truth in maybe Trump is trying to have the markets correct. So Powell is forced into cutting rates. And then on top of that, if you have a booming labor market and you start to transition back to quantitative easing, in other words, printing, the U.S. constantly, or the U.S. will print money, and then the markets will boom. Question two, with Trump, would if inflation's coming down, then wouldn't the Fed stop printing? Well, we print money on a yearly basis. Inflation is a constant. It is a necessary thing. You can't go through an economy, you can't go through a year without some form of inflation, because then that would destroy the markets. That would destroy not just our like the stock and forex market, but it also would destroy the consumer market. So prices for everything, supply and demand. So let's see if I have any more questions. I go through this thing and I always do it last minute. Best play. So the best play right now, when honestly, it's difficult. When you're at peak fear, it is very difficult to get those good plays. I'm guilty of it myself. MSTR at its lowest point, calls, 350 call strikes, beautiful. I didn't buy them. I only got MSTU, some shares, Bitcoin, MSTX, TSLL, but it's difficult, absolutely, because the emotions get to us. The best move, if you don't want volatility, or if you want the best assets and you don't want to have to worry about it, like just you're going to lose everything like you would of a stock or a crypto, gold and Bitcoin. And then I still believe summer's going to be great. So you want to get into the top large cap stocks that are going to outperform this well, or outperform this year. What is it? And yeah, this is all based on liquidity cycle, because now our markets have changed. Our markets are no longer like the 2000s, 2010s. It's different. It is a totally different beast. It's been seen that it's a different beast since 2015, 2016. Liquidity now affects it because of all the debt and interest to it, bonds, yields. So I do stand by this. Um, Real estate will also increase this year, while mortgage rates they're all going to drop because yields they're already dropping. Um, Plays, I'll tell you guys, or no, I could say in this one. Yeah, I get. Oh, fuck it, I'll say it in this one. So for the short-term games, Bitcoin, MSTR, MSTU, MSTX, Tesla, Palantir, Nvidia, Hood, TSLL, one I just added, 2x ETF on Tesla. Coins, those of you with Doge, with Polygon, Ethereum, Sol, you can DCA, but just understand that until monetary policy changes, that it's just gonna. I think they could go a little bit lower going into April. I'm not sure if the bottom is in or not. We'll need to get confirmation going into next week. We're at a resistance right now, Friday going into the weekend. So I'm thinking the weekend is it's always slow. It's a pullback. So we'll probably pull back. We could retest the lows at 76, 77. If you're trying to time the perfect bid, I recommend just DCA, just whatever prices are at. These are good buying prices. If you're trying to get Bitcoin, think of it like this. It's at a 90. Michael Saylor said this. You're buying Bitcoin right now at a 99% discount. So, and I think he's right, considering how long all of us are going to be holding it. Yeah, so I think it's a good time to buy. I'll go over charts. Weekly, stochastic on Bitcoin. So I'm not sure if this is the bottom, like I said. Could be. We can retest it. But this is a really good close on the weekly. This is beautiful. It didn't get above 86. I need it to get above 86 for me to believe that it's in bullish rings. But it can pull back down, test support, and then we can set off. Let's look at Ethereum. I don't like the alt pairs to Bitcoin. So they're telling me, so Bitcoin can pump and go to like 93, 96K, and then the alts will get picked up, like lifted off their feet, and then once Bitcoin, let's say in April, like takes another hit and does like a 5 or 10% move down from 90K, then alts are going to get wrecked again. So until monetary policy changes, I would say just wait on the cryptos probably till like April or May to start DCing. I think these can go lower. Ethereum, I can see 1,500 being a bottom, 1,300 worst case. Doge, I do see going to 10 cents. I do think this is a good one to buy. I think when you look at market capitalization and Coinbase has showed data that most of the time when people buy crypto, they buy Doge. It's the most buyed crypto token. I don't know why, but it is. And Solana, I need to see Solana get above this. If it can, then it can go test 170. If not, it's going to be trading sideways in here around the hundreds. It can come down to worst case 90. How long is this video at? I don't keep track sometimes. See, it's already at 14. What else did you guys have? Tau. Oh, Tau. I am holding off on buying. I'm waiting for this to get back to the 200s. I can see this going to 200. Let's do stocks. Tesla. It hit my blue box zone. I had thought if we went lower when we were here, I had assumed, you know what, that we're probably going to go lower too because we were way oversold. I was like, bounce. It just didn't feel like it. See, this is why you got to look at TA and don't listen to your emotions. But it hit the bounce, or it hit the box, it bounced. So we can come back up here. We'll see on next week, but I do think we can still retest this area at 220s. Worst case, this is really worst case. Tesla would go to 190. It has had its worst cases. 2023, it went to like $100 a share from bad sentiment and the media just attacking them like nonstop. And like I said back then, just buy the dip. MSTU. I like this. This is clean. MSTU can retest the support at 374. But this will start flying. MSTR flew today. It's crazy. I lost quite a bit on my puts, but I don't care because my portfolio overall is doing well when this bad boy picks up. It does look to me that it won't get above this. This is actually a good area to put puts or short. It's probably going to retest. And what's crazy is it's probably going to retest 240s. MSTR has been abiding by this trend line. It's pretty crazy. So by April, we should moon if it follows this trend line. Eventually, it's going to squeeze from here. Just built up energy and boom. My price target is 700, 800 on MSTR. Coin, we did get out of the box target, so this is telling me that this is going to put in a lower low, possibly 150. I have to redo on that. Coin L, yikes. See, I should have got puts on this. It would have been dope. Hood looks like it might be bottoming. This could be the bottom, or it's close to it. Yeah, this might be bottom. And then I have a target. It's going to retest the highs. So it would be like 70s. It's going to retest. Palantir. Followed the TA perfectly. So I haven't changed any of these. I just got on. Like I said, I've been busy. So it's kind of weird. See, I don't even trade some of these plays I talk about. Like, I'd be making some money. Like, seriously. But it bounced. It tested the bull support band. So it's probably going to go a little bit sideways, and then eventually it's going to pick up, let's say May, I want to say June, to test 130. Probably June. Yeah. NVIDIA. Beautiful. Holy. That's a clean bounce. I do think the bottom is in on NVIDIA. It's going to retest support, but it can go a lower bottom. A lower high. Or is it lower? Yeah, lower high. So it could probably retest like 110, but the bottom might be in for NVIDIA. It's gonna take some time for it to get above this 130 target price, this bull support band. So I think it's just gonna go sideways for March and April around here. But I do think it's a good time to enter in there. My price target, I probably need to adjust this, is gonna be, I want to say 170, 180. I don't know if we can hit 200. We'll see. Those are all the positions that at least I'm aware of you guys have. So I'm going to end it right here. It's a really long one. But yeah, I just want to give some retrospect. I don't think this is top at all. We're still in a bull market. It's just mass FUD. It's one of the fastest selling moments in the market. So I think it's like one of the top 10s, but it's not the fastest. Like, obviously COVID is the fastest one, but it's up there. I would say buy the dip. And then for those in crypto, I know our portfolio sucked, but you have to remember we just had the most bullish macro events for crypto happen within like 2 months too. Bitcoin Reserve, a sovereign wealth fund that's probably going to buy Bitcoin. All these bills that they're pushing through to how Congress and how President Trump can pass by law ways or tools so to have net neutrality in buying Bitcoin or adding Bitcoin to the reserve. That's extremely bullish. So don't sell, just buy. That's it. Alrighty, guys. You guys have a good one.